Well, thank you, Maddie Dee, for joining us for this International Week of Celebration. On behalf of the World Creativity and Innovation Weekend Day, I would like to welcome you and to thank you for dedicating some of your time in your busy schedule to having a conversation with us on a topic that's really relevant and important, I feel. The title of today's talk is Creativity and the Awakening of the Black Woman's Past, Present, and Future Global Position. And as someone that's been working in this space and written a book about it, I feel like your messages are so relevant for us on so many levels, and especially, concerning the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals that we're all invited to participate in, because as we have come to realize, to really encounter the challenges of our times, including the climate crisis, it's not just a question of the economy or even just of ecology, that how we structure our societies, how we show up as ourselves, to the extent to which we're actually able to have equality actually really matters in whether we're able to achieve these goals. So it's such a pleasure to be speaking with you on an important topic today.
And thank you so much. It's a delight to be here and to see you again, Goran. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much, and it's a pleasure likewise. We might as well just dive straight into the questions and talk about your book. I guess the first thought that comes to me and that makes me wonder is what inspired you to write this book? What might have been some of the reasons that led you to write it?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think the best way that I can describe it is there's an awakening happening amongst Black women worldwide. And from that awakening, there are conversations that are taking place. And from those conversations, I made certain observations. And from those observations, I made certain connections, like just in my mind, my own particular personal life. And from those connections, I came to a conclusion. And I started to see that the conclusion that I had come to, it wasn't being discussed from what I can see, from what I could see at the time. I wasn't hearing these sorts of thoughts. And so that's when I knew that I had a perspective that I wanted to plow into the world. I was also inspired by, well, I did have this somewhat like of a burn in my belly to birth this book. I'm not always known for having an abstract thought and bringing it in, like taking the steps to bring it through to concrete. But I felt like there was nothing to stop me from writing this book. So to me, it felt like a call to action, and like a personal call to action to do it. So I was somewhat self-inspired to do it. I also wanted white people to know that I think that there's time for some clarity here. That I think that that white people have been burdened with some heavy responsibilities that I just don't think belong there. But I was also inspired by young Black women. They are learning and hearing these conversations and having this information that just wasn't widely shared, I think, before the internet. So I wanted my narrative to be part of that discussion. And part of the reason I wanted it to be included in the discussion has to do with, well, sort of getting me off the hook in some ways. This book was getting me off the hook. And what I mean by that is I didn't want a young Black woman at any point in her future to come to me and be able to say, why didn't you tell me? Why did you have this information, this knowledge, and not share it with me? So having written the book, for me, the question isn't why didn't you tell me? The question really then becomes, why didn't you listen? Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's just so powerful. Thank you so much for sharing that. And we're currently living in an age where we're more acutely aware that um, we need to focus on decolonizing and the process of working through this. And so we're engaged in this process of decolonizing both at the academic sphere, at universities, but also in the public sphere. And an essential part of that is sharing information and acknowledging various aspects of the experiences of the last several hundred years. And your gift really to the world is so relevant, it seems, because you are sharing information, you are bringing certain issues to attention, and you're helping us sort of encounter some of these legacies, as it were, so that hopefully we're able to encounter them and move beyond them. And that sort of takes me to my next question. What is your book about, and how did you come to settle on the title?
Yeah, so the short answer to what my book is about is it's about acceptance, really. My book is not really the narrative about being able to decolonize. My narrative is more so about, for me, like, I have accepted the fact, well, I've accepted that I don't believe that Black women will ever be part of a sovereign, globally protected group of women. It's of my observation or my opinion that Black men aren't going to liberate Black women from a system of white supremacy, and no other man, particularly white Caucasian men, are responsible for doing it. So when I came to realize this, the words of, meaning the title of my book, basically like struck as clear as sunlight. I just knew that this was the stance that I wanted to take. This was the perspective that I had. Um, I've stood on that square right from when the words just resonated with me so deeply. There was a moment where I did second guess the the title, like, 'cause it's really out there, it's kind of on the nose, right? But the title is about getting your attention. The content is about changing your life. And it's particularly, it's written by a Black woman for Black women. So it's a very specific perspective, a very specific point of view, but it's absolutely one that I stand on. The book has been published for almost 2 years, and I absolutely have not wavered one bit on my narrative. Mhm.
Thank you. That's so interesting, and I truly appreciate this approach that increasingly, I think, scholars and activists from feminism to others are encouraging us to engage and to be more radical, to speak the truth, and to engage authentically from our own lived perspectives. And it feels as if you're doing exactly that, which is really inspiring. And I also appreciate this perspective of helping ourselves, of self-empowering ourselves, and really focusing on that as on our own agency to change. And as relevant as that is for Black women, no doubt, it feels to me as if this is a really powerful invitation for a world more broadly. Which takes me to the next question about the themes in your book. What key themes are you dealing with in your work? Uh, um, in general, or did you kind of focus on some specific themes in your writing?
I think the common thread, the common theme for all the different support, all the different information, the data and the research and statistics and all of that, all of it is pointing to what I think is honesty. That is the common thread throughout the book, is just about not pretending anymore, taking a good hard look at ourselves, like ourselves as a race family, and coming to this conclusion that, like, we need to be honest about our condition. We need to be honest about it, because, and also because if we're not honest, there's no possible way of living an authentic life if you're not honest, and be that individually, or be it collectively, right? So for me, yes, I really did focus on the fact that that being honest is really, like, really important. I wanted Black women to understand that we are not like other groups of women who have certain protections. Black women do not have economic protections, financial protections, physical protections, psychological protections, and this is globally. So so all of these ideas or themes all point to the one common thing, in my opinion, which is being honest about where we are and how we got here and what's to come. Mm-hmm.
I love that. That's so, again, seemingly so relevant for us across all kinds of domains. Yet somehow we need to be reminded by authors and writers and artists such as yourself that, the most direct way is often through authenticity. And this is
Right.
often how we get the best results. Um, this year's theme for the World Creativity and Innovation Week is very potent and very interesting. It aligns with United Nations Sustainable Development Goals very well because again, due to the climate crisis, the migrations we're experiencing in our world, the changing nature of work due to technologies and other things, there are a number of moving pieces increasingly in our world that are demanding us and asking us, as it were, to get engaged and to show more of this agency that you're kind of calling us to manifest. How do you find that your work reflects to these broader, more global themes? And in what way do you feel that your work and the invitation that you're issuing out there can help?
Um, I think that it points to the potential for collaboration. I think that Black women absolutely are going to have to make inroads um, with people beyond our initial race family, our initial group. I think that it would be wise to broaden their experiences, broaden their like expose themselves to other cultures, other strategies, other infrastructures, other institutions, this sort of thing. We're going to need to be able to collaborate with people who are game changers, who are visionaries, ones who want to build a different future. Yeah, absolutely. I think that Black women, it's going to be vital, I think, for Black women to connect and to collaborate and to create. Absolutely. Because Black women have that power, we have that essence, and we're just going to need to be able to do it to the best of our ability to do what I call, which is go live your best fucked life. Mhm.
Wow, I love that so much. This is incredible because it reminds me of something that Eckhart Tolle once said. I believe that women will awaken first, and they will help the men. In many ways, women have been sort of the custodians of the culture throughout our human shared history, and so there's a certain joy in that. I think in your invitation to become more self-reliant and more engaged is just a really empowering, I find, call to action. Is there anything else you would like to share with us and with the World Creativity and Innovation Weekend Day audiences about your book and work? Anything else that we didn't ask about?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that just it sort of tying things up. I know that that my book isn't for everyone, and I'm fine with that. But I do want people to know that disagreeing with me is one thing, disapproving is another. So I I don't expect everyone to agree with everything, but I do think that the contents of my book will change your worldview forever.
That's I think precisely what we're hoping to do in celebrating creativity and innovation around the world in order really to amplify all of our voices, both at the United Nations level and in our everyday individual lives, because by empowering ourselves and our voices, I think many of us are agreeing that we stand the best chance really of turning the challenges of our world into a thriving world. Thank you so much, Maddie Dee, for sharing your thoughts and your exciting work. And we look forward to future updates from you and hopefully some future interviews as well.
Wonderful. I look forward to it. Thank you so much. I'm very happy to be here with you, Goran. Thank you.
Thank you.